to be launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. If you didn't catch our recap of the Portugal Pro yesterday, you definitely want to check that out on the YouTube channel. And even though there were a lot of amazing athletes competing on that stage last weekend, you can make a solid argument for Peter Molnar having the most impressive physique in the building after the performance he put on as one of the featured guest posers of the night. To be honest, I think this might be the first time that we've seen him live in action since he pulled the double dip at the Romania Muscle Fest last year when he won his pro card and his pro debut in the same weekend. But seeing what he looked like last week was a good reminder of why so many people were talking about him as a legitimate top 3 Olympia guy. He's got all the tools and all the experience you need to be able to compete at the highest level. And as we start getting closer to October, it'll be interesting to see if his name starts to get thrown around more with the rest of that top group. With the Chicago Pro being less than 72 hours away now, there are a lot of conversations happening about the 212 division, especially with all the hype surrounding Keon Pearson. But I'll tell you what, I think people are making a mistake if they're overlooking the impact that John Jewett can have in this lineup. John's already put together a couple of really strong performances this year, and if you look at where his conditioning is right now, it isn't a stretch to say that he could end up being in the best shape out of anyone in the building. I know it's almost cliche to say it now, but conditioning is what wins shows in bodybuilding. So if there are windows of opportunity there, John's got the right game plan to be able to exploit them. Over the last few years, talking about someone's potential has been one of those buzzword terms in bodybuilding. And to be fair, we do it a lot on this show too, because it does help to create a narrative. But this honestly might be the first time we've ever done a story on an athlete who's going on the record to talk about what they believe their own potential is. And in case you missed it a few days ago, on an Instagram post, Patrick Moore said that he believes that he's only reached about 50% of his potential in bodybuilding so far, and that he still has a few years until he actually reaches his peak. How he gets there, or what that looks like, isn't entirely clear. But the sense you get from some of the other stuff that he shares from time to time is that he believes there's a Sandow trophy somewhere in his future. Now, whether or not that ever comes true is anyone's guess. But I will say this, if 50% more means 50% bigger, 50% sharper, and 50% more complete than he is right now, this might not be as crazy as it seems. And finally, I'm closing out the show today with a very heavy heart, because it means that I have to wish a melancholy trails to a good friend, Jenny Lynn-Powell. The former 2-time figure Olympia champ passed away from an apparent seizure earlier this week at the age of 49. And as soon as the news of her passing began to circulate, it sent shockwaves through the bodybuilding and fitness community. I said a few days ago that I believe Jenny was a shining light in everything she did, and I feel that way even more today than I did then, if that's even possible. She was one of the most amazing people I've ever had the privilege of meeting, and I want to send my deepest condolences to her friends, family, and fans. Rest in peace, Jenny. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.